welcome into FanDuel TV. Happy Monday. We've got a doubleheader on tap to close out week 4. The Titans taking on the Dolphins. Seattle trying to stay hot.
Postseason almost here in the MLB. We've got the NL wildcard spots up for grabs. A doubleheader tonight between the Braves and the Mets.
What are we jumping into this hour? We've got best bets, play of the hours, the international race of the hour, not too far away. And it's Monday. Why would you not be excited? Megan Payton, Dubs Anderson coming to you live from our Los Angeles studios. We get to see the final teams going into the playoffs for the Major League Baseball. We've got 2 games for Monday Night Football, so let's stick with the football talk. Biggest standout that we've seen through week 4 so far?
It has to be last night, Sunday Night Football. The Ravens beat the Bills 35-10. This was an impressive performance on all 3 levels for the Baltimore Ravens. Derrick Henry, have yourself a night, 199 rushing yards. But I want to highlight the coaching staff. I want to highlight not only John Harbaugh, but it's Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator, who's finding ways to move the ball down the field, not only in the run game with Derrick Henry, with Lamar Jackson. And then you look at Zach Orr. A lot of discussion this offseason about Mike McDaniel leaving as defensive coordinator. How are they going to respond? Zach Orr should get all of the credit for holding the Buffalo Bills to just 10 points. This was supposed to be a competitive game. The line was -2.5. I thought the Bills were going to rally. They did not in the slightest. Baltimore looking like, can we say, the best team in the AFC?
And what about my guy, King Henry? Have yourself an evening. Is it fair to say, I know it's only through 4 weeks, but do they finally look like Super Bowl contenders?
The Ravens look like Super Bowl contenders. They look like they've got a formula that is successful in the postseason, and that's what you want to see. And look, there's going to be outlier games. There's going to be upsets like when the Ravens lost to the Raiders, but ultimately you want to see that cohesion, which is really impressive to have this early on into the season with the changes that happened in the offseason. Lamar Jackson still looking like an MVP quarterback, and they're finding ways to expand it not only with those top wide receivers, but they're getting different guys involved. Isaiah Likely, he's still looking good. I've been really impressed with this Ravens team. They're definitely in that playoff Super Bowl contender mix.
35-10. This was a monster performance, and it's right on time, you know. As soon as I jump in on the Josh Allen hype train, he lets me down with an absolute dud. This was not good enough for the Bills. They had a very good shot of coming into this one and trying to make it a showdown. It was not. They went missing, so I turn it to you, MP. Cause for concern in Buffalo?
Here's the biggest cause of concern in Buffalo, not having a wide receiver 1. So when you're playing up against different defenses, you can kind of move the ball with Khalil Shakir, with Keon Coleman, with Dalton Kincaid, but going up against a Ravens defense that has been really good, that's when you start to worry because they're going to contain Josh Allen, and if you contain the biggest threat on the field, well, then there's a little bit of concern of, okay, if you don't have a Stephon Diggs, no one's going to be double covered, and then they can put their guys on these, kind of average receivers. That'd be the biggest question mark. They made that decision. They really don't have that top threat. So when you get into the later part of the year, that might be the same discussion. I know the Kansas City Chiefs found a way to win a Super Bowl without having a technically wide receiver 1, but are the Buffalo Bills set up to do that? They might have to go look at the trade market.
And how much can Josh Allen really do to carry that team through the regular season? We've seen a bit of an odds movement there for the MVP. It's Patty Mahomes at +250, now Josh Allen at +350. So drifting out in the market. Let's turn it to another big game on Sunday. The standout, the shock performance. What wowed you? We're 4 weeks through. We're starting to get a good measuring stick on a lot of these teams.
The Minnesota Vikings are 4-0. That is what's wowed me through 4 weeks of football. An NFC North battle between the Packers and Vikings. Vikings get the win 31-29, but that score is not indicative of what happened yesterday. Vikings were up 28-0. Yes, the Packers found a way to rally back a little bit into that game, but Minnesota looks like maybe the best team in the NFC, which is crazy because we were just talking about the Ravens. There was always expectations on Baltimore coming into this year, but the Vikings, they were bottom in the division in terms of odds. They were like +900 to win the NFC North, and now they're looking like the best team in that division. Sam Darnold has been so efficient. He's been very accurate. He is finding open receivers. They've got a great run game going on with Aaron Jones. How about Aaron Jones in the receiving game yesterday as well? The defense looks amazing. seen. I am just saying this Vikings team might be the team to look at when we get into the NFC playoff talks.
AJ was always going to have a big game going back into Lambeau. They were grabbing 2.5 going on the road. It turned out to be quite the fourth quarter there. The Packers really trying to eat into that margin, but it wasn't enough time on the clock. But is it time to panic? Is it time to fade the Green Bay Packers with Jordan Love just coming back at quarterback?
I'm not fading the Green Bay Packers. It was a bit of a tale of two halves for Jordan Love, and you'd expect a little bit of concern. He's coming back from a hamstring injury. Not only has he not played in a couple weeks, he hasn't practiced. So that rhythm is expected to be just a little bit off. I mean, it wasn't a good first half. He had 3 interceptions this entire game. But I do think that you could see by the second half, he did start to rally. He did start to move the ball more efficiently. He started looking a little bit more accurate. The Green Bay Packers, if anything, should be concerned because now this NFC North looks like it could be the most competitive division in the NFL. You've got the Lions, who are playing tonight, who've always been expected to be the top of that North. Now you've got the Vikings sitting really, really close with Detroit. Packers, Bears. This is a tough division, but ultimately, do not fade the Packers. This is still a solid team. Just give Jordan Love a little bit of time to come back from that injury.
Yeah, he looked really strong once they got going there in that second half. Maybe it is the buy low spot for Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, but cannot go against the Vikings and what we've seen through the first 4 weeks. So with that, it is Monday. Time for a little MVP Mondays MP. You've been seeing them fantastic on the betting side of things. So let's take a look at the top players. So hopefully cash you a couple of nice looking tickets there over Sunday afternoon. Tell you what, bit of a mixed bag. Running backs, quarterbacks, a couple of big tight ends. But let's start with the Commanders. Jayden Daniels, what a season, what a year this rookie's putting together.
Jayden Daniels gets all the game balls after week 4. They go and beat the Cardinals in Arizona 42-14. Jayden Daniels is not playing like a rookie. He's the first quarterback in NFL history. I don't mean rookie, I mean NFL quarterback in history to have back-to-back consecutive games of over 85% completion percentage. That is one of the biggest concerns coming into the draft, or coming into the season, I should say, with Jayden Daniels was how accurate is he going to be? We know he can run all over the field, but how effective will he be in the passing game? Well, that's looked to be the best part of Jayden Daniels' games through week 4. He is so efficient. He looks so poised. He looks so confident. The Commanders didn't have a lot of expectations this season, and suddenly now they look like they could be the best team in the NFC East.
They embarrassed the Cardinals in their building as well for Sunday afternoon. So well done if you had Daniels or the Commanders up there cashing a couple of tickets. In that 2 spot, what about that dull Baker Mayfield? Can we say Mayfield, the maestro? What a clinic he put on there with a couple of side shots at Tom Brady back and forth, but I guess it was a little out of context. Nothing out of context. Star performance from Baker again.
Yeah, nothing out of context for Baker Mayfield and how good he's looked through the first 4 weeks of football. And yesterday, the same thing. I mean, 347 passing yards. He had 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, and they beat the Philadelphia Eagles 31-16. The Bucs offense looks great, and it's all led by Baker Mayfield. They're having fun out there. They are finding ways. It's not just about Mike Evans. It's Chris Godwin. It's all these different weapons that they have. Baker Mayfield finally has found his home with the Bucs, and it is showing off. It is proving to be the right decision, and I'm glad that he got the bag. I'm glad he got paid. And again, we're looking at the top teams in the divisions. Are the Bucs the best team in the NFC South?
I tell you what, they're looking like it there yesterday afternoon, and there's no let-up. Baker gets paid in that offseason, more than 340 passing yards. Truly remarkable stuff, but not enough to take that top spot. We're taking it back to Sunday Night Football. The King, Derrick Henry, rolling for the Baltimore Ravens. 199 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and leads the league in numbers. This was quite the individual standout performance.
Yeah, he set the table, set the tone right away in Sunday Night Football with that 87-yard rushing touchdown. Go back and watch the highlights of that play. You've got the Bills secondary just trying to catch up to Derrick Henry. They looked like little kids running after him. That's the speed that Derrick Henry has. Apparently, he had clocked 21 miles per hour, and that wasn't the only touchdown he had. He followed it up by the next drive with a 5-yard touchdown pass. Derrick Henry This was the best move that the Ravens did because Todd Monken is known for running the ball, and that was the biggest issue for the Ravens last season on offense, was not being able to get consistent in the run game, aside from obviously their quarterback Lamar Jackson. Now you take off the pressure of Jackson, you bring in one of the best running backs in the league. He works perfect with this system. He looks just like he did a few years back. He's still young, he's still moving, and he is fast. This was one of my favorite Derrick Henry performances we've seen in his career.
When they can get him going downhill and into the game early, how are you meant to stop that? I mean, you're trying to prepare for Lamar Jackson, who could be slicing and dicing any part of the field. And then you've got Derrick Henry, 30 years of age. I love the run style, the big fella, twinkle toes. And you highlighted clocking that speed number. He is lightning out there.
That's what I'm saying. This is a bigger back. This is a guy you put on the goal line, and yet he can look like Jahmyr Gibbs out there at times because that's how quick he is, even for his size. And you mentioned the age, but yet he's still playing at such a young, elite level. I'm really excited the addition that Derrick Henry brings to Ravens offense.
There it is. Derrick Henry taking that top spot for MVP Mondays. Let us know. Did you cash a couple of monster tickets, or maybe that player who got you the bag, a little Sunday sprinkle, if you know what I'm saying. With that, we're going to sneak in a quick commercial timeout. On the other side, we're turning it to the sport of horse racing and looking back at the top 3 performers from the weekend that was.
Welcome back into FanDuel TV. MVP Monday continues with time to take a look back at the top performers in the sport of horse racing. In that 3 spot, 3 Technique with a textbook rally and the Ack Stakes at Churchill Downs on Saturday evening.
Earned a berth into the Breeders' Cup Big Ass Fans Dirt Mile, taking home another big performance there on Saturday night underneath the bright lights. Let's take a look.
And it's Cagliostro up for a short lead. Stage Raider fighting on. So too Tumbarumba. And here comes 3 Technique. All 4 stacked across the track with a furlong to go. And 3 Technique is picking them all up. 3 Technique. From off the pace goes on to do it. Tumbarumba fights on for second. 3 Technique the winner.
It was a smaller field, but cannot take away from that big performance. Rafael Bejarano was in the irons for trainer Jason Cook, so well done. They jumped into play 3 Technique with a textbook rally. What about that 2 spot, MP? Who gets it?
All right, number 2, Johannes continued the hot streak in the City of Hope from Santa Anita.
It was the final race of the program, and it certainly lived up to the billing. Let's take a listen.
poised to pounce at the top of the stretch. Johannes up to take the lead. De Jour has surfaced with his rally, and Trickery is in fourth. A 16th to go, and Johannes puts away Conclude and opens up another dazzling display for Johannes to win the City of Hope Mile.
Really has the hot hand, continues to race at a very high clip. Fourth consecutive graded stakes victory to remain unbeaten in 2024. So well done, Tim Yaktine and your pilot, Umberto Rispoli. What about that top spot, MP?
All right, number one, Subsanador shined bright in the California Crown from the Great Race Place.
What a weekend it was, the inaugural running of the California Crown, and what a race it's set up to be.
Subsanador comes out to chase him home, and in the center of the track, Newgate is bearing down in third. Here comes Newgate with big strides after National Treasure. National Treasure, Subsanador, and Newgate. Three of them line up in an absolute thriller. Subsanador in between horses. Here's the line. Subsanador and Mike Smith to win the California Crown Stakes.
It was a thriller, the California Crown. It was big money. Mike Smith in the irons for Hall of Fame trainer Richard Mandella. So well done if you had Subsanador getting victory in the California Crown. It certainly was a fantastic weekend in the sport of racing. All eyes continue to point to the Breeders' Cup World Championships coming up in the very first weekend of November. They are our top three performers from the weekend that was.
And as we wrap up MVP Monday, we get set for a new betting week, a new day of live racing. Here's what we've got on tap this hour. We've got the 7th from Hamilton Park, the opener out there at Parks, which will kick off the start of the Pick 5. We have the opener from Thistledown, the opener from Finger Lakes. So let's get started. Have a Monday. Jump in to the live racing. New customers, you can get a no-sweat first bet up to $500. Scan the QR code. It'll take you over to the FanDuel Racing app where you can play today.
No shortage of great sports and wagering to be had as we kick off a new betting week. Nice little blend of international racing and racing stateside will also get you primed up for everything you need to know with all of the Monday afternoon action. All right, taking a look at the field here. 5 minutes to post time for this Class 6 handicap event for the 3-year-olds and up, going the distance of 1.5 miles on a turf course listed as good to soft. The 1, 7 and 4 look to be the three headliners for this one. Flying Scotsman, the one sitting at even money, comes in for trainer Ben Haslam and has seen a lot of movement in the market. It was 15 to 1 on the morning line, continues to get bet down and gets a little step down in class here today, but not a significant one. So the 7-year-old continues to see that attention, but I'm thinking with that shortening up in price, could be vulnerable in this spot, MP, and that's the great thing about pari-mutuel wagering. As one horse shortens up in price, you can find slightly better value elsewhere on this board.
Yeah, you mentioned the movement in the market, 15 to 1, now at even money. Blinkers come on for the 1 today. A couple other threats here would be the 7 sitting at 8 to 5. So the 7 comes in. We'll be going off from post position 2. Has pretty much stayed the same. Morning line was 8 to 5 as well. Got a win in the last out, so 8 wins, 70 starts, 1 win for the year. Do you think the 7 is the one to beat here?
The 7 has the credentials, has that top gear, but the only concern would be at this point of the career, at 7 years of age, the number 7, there could be a bit of a bounce looming. So that could hurt the chances. Sitting at 8 to 5 does project to be one of the clear choices here. The 6 sits at 10 to 1. That's Hot Team for Patrick Morris. An 8-year-old gelding. The blinkers coming on today, looking to turn around the recent struggles. We've got the 5 here, Edwina Sheeran, starting from post position 6. The 4-year-old filly gets to take advantage of a bit of a weight break. This is probably the young runner to watch out for in the field here. At 17 to 1, you're getting a really good price. The last couple of starts at this level hasn't shown up, but if you look a little further back into the resume at the back end of last year, there was a bit of promise with this runner. So we can just get it back to a new course at a distance where we're still trying to figure things out. Watch out for Edwina Sheeran, the number 5. Got to be the sister to Ed Sheeran.
That's a principal play right there. We'll be going off from post position 6. Now sitting at 18 to 1. Highlighted the 4. The 4 going to be going off from post position 7, sitting at 3 to 1 currently. Finished 7th in the last out, but did get the win 2 back. blinkers come on today. What did you make of the 5-year-old gelding?
Archie Young gets the mount here for Lucinda Russell and the barn. The 5-year-old in search of the second win for the campaign. You highlighted it's rocks or diamonds. We got the diamonds 2 back. Didn't work in favour last out on the 22nd, so wheeled it back really quickly. Just a week since that last effort. But if you're looking for the fitness of the field, look no further. The 4 has it in bunches. Currently sitting at 3-1. You can see your assistants trying to move the young runner in a position. The 3 Outborn sits as the second biggest long shot of the field at 37-1. Also comes in for the Russell barn. Blinkers come on here today, but really has been struggling going a longer distance. So we'll get the cut back, but the recent form really tough to endorse in this spot.
Getting a good look at the 2 who's sitting as the biggest price on the board, 54-1. Morning line was 15-1. We'll be going off from post position 4. As you see the 2 loading into the gate, has yet to break the maiden, finished 4th in the last out, and finished pretty far back the last few.
Looks like they're set. If you're playing along, best of luck. It's the 7th from Hamilton Park.
Into their stride in this Book Your 2025 race day at Hamilton Park Handicap. 1.5 miles is the trip, and the first one to go on is the horse who won it last year, Jamin Oz, in those yellow sleeves. It's pretty tight for second here in the yellow cap. This one here is Old Born in the yellow with the light blue cap. That's Hot Team. In the red and white diamonds, Edwina Sharon is a close 4th. Then in the stripes, we've got Dandy's Angel behind this for Neji Lynn. And disputing last place with the well-back favourite, Flying Scotsman. Down the track they go, and about to go left-handed towards the bend at the far end of the track. And up front, it is Allborn, who has now gone on from Jamin Oz in second place. So it's Lucinda Russell's 2 horses, first and second at the moment. In third place in the yellow colours, Hot Team. On the outside, Edwina Sheeran. Then behind these in the stripes, we've got Dandy's Angel. Then the hoops of Flying Scotsman. And the back marker is for Neji Lynn. So up the hill, about to swing right-handed in this Book Your 2025 race day at Hamilton Park Handicap. And up front, it's Allborn, Oishino on board. On the outside, Jamin Oz, Archie Young. Third on the inside, Hot Team and Reese Elliott. Fourth on the outside, Edwina Sharon, Kaya Fraser, the apprentice who's boasting a 31% strike rate at the moment. On his inside, Dandy's Angel and Tom Keeley-Marshall, the apprentice, boasting a 44% strike rate at the moment. Then comes the Flying Scotsman, Paul Mulrennan, and the back marker is for Neji Lynn and Ryan Kavanagh. That's the order as they begin the sweep back towards us in the grandstand. And up front, it is Allborn who leads them at a sensible clip. The leader by 1.5 lengths. On the outside is Jamin Oz. On the inside, in the yellow and light blue, is Hot Team. Tracking these on the right in the red and white diamonds is Edwina Sheeran. Then in the stripes on the far side comes Dandy's Angel. Then comes Flying Scotsman, and they're ridden along for Neji Lynn. So here they come up the home straight inside the last half mile. They're winding it up from the front. Allborn has the lead. Jamin Oz moves well in second place. Third on the far side is Hot Team. Then the stripes of Dandy's Angel in 4th. Behind this, Edwina Sheeran. And then under pressure, Flying Scotsman's got it all to do on the right-hand side, the well-back favourite. 2.5 furlongs left to run. We got 4 horses virtually in line, but Jamin Oz, who won the race last year, now comes up to dispute it with Hot Team in the yellow. On the far side, Dandy's Angel. And Dandy's Angel now just possibly the leader. Dandy's Angel the leader with just over a furlong left to run. In second place is Jamin Oz, who's beginning to fight back. In third place is Hot Team. Dandy's Angel has the lead and is going on by 2. Dandy's Angel and Tom Keeley-Marshall, the hot apprentice at the moment, is going to win it and win it well. Dandy's Angel is first. Jamin Oz is second. In third, Hot Team.
Dandy's Angel, the 7, gets the win, makes that 9 wins and 71 starts for the 7-year-old mare, going off at 9-5.
Well done. If you had the 7 up on top, another well-timed performance from Star Young Hoop. We're going to sneak in a quick commercial timeout, but don't go anywhere. On the other side, it's time to vent. Megan Payton talks us through the bad beats of the weekend that was and who we're getting after this week. Welcome back into FanDuel TV. Week 4 in the NFL continues. We've got 2 Monday Night Football marquee matchups not too far away. And the big trend was towards the overs. 10 of 13 favourites got the wins straight up. But how'd you go on the betting side of things, MP? Give us a bad beat.
All right, bad beat. Bad beat was my favorite play of the day. My favorite money line play of the day was the Saints to beat the Falcons. It was looking good. And then Younghoe Koo, who has not made a 58-yard field goal, makes and drills the 58-yard field goal with no seconds left on the clock, and that killed. That was a hard one to handle. But you know what? We did okay on the other side of things. We hit the anytime touchdown parlay, but that one's going to sting a little bit, especially because it was the Dirty Birds.
My guy's an absolute monster. 58 yards. What about them quads from Koo to rocket that one over? I'm going to give you a bad beat, and I think I can top your one. I had a little 3-leg same game parlay for Sunday Night Football. It was the Ravens to roll. It was the unders. King Henry, he's receiving total. And Isaiah Likely, all I needed Isaiah Likely to do was to have more than 26.5 receiving yards, and we cashed the parlay. What did he have? He had 1 reception for 26.
That's
and it loses by the hook. It is amazing how spot on those odds makers are.
Those numbers are accurate for a reason. Come on, Isaiah. Didn't you know that's all we needed for the parlay? Just run that 1 extra yard. And in a game where the Ravens looked really good, it's hard to celebrate a Baltimore win if that's the bad beat.
We're almost through September. It means it's starting to cool down, but we're starting to come up with these hot takes as we move through the regular season. Here you go, MP.
Ooh, hot take?
You're batting leadoff. Give us a hot take.
All right, I don't know how hot this is, but let's start with the Browns quarterback, Deshaun Watson. $230 million guaranteed. He has not cleared 200 passing yards this season. Bench Deshaun Watson. Move on. The vibes are not there. Throw in my guy, Jameis Winston. And if it's not Jameis Winston, go to DTR. But it's really embarrassing for how bad Deshaun Watson's been. Obviously, the off-the-field drama is one thing. And then now on the field, he is not doing anything. He had another interception yesterday. The Browns sit 1-2. And they are paying him so much money. And I know that they're going to be paying him regardless of whether he's playing or not. But at some point, you've got to move on, say, this isn't the guy that we want leading our franchise. He's done nothing to live up to that contract. He's been ineffective. He makes bad decisions. And the Browns now look like the worst team in the AFC North. So I'm saying give it to the guy that eats the W's. Jameis Winston deserves to be the starting quarterback for Cleveland.
We are done with Deshaun Watson. What's the social media universe coming up with here on a Monday morning? The Kansas City Chiefs, they got it done in a tough one. A couple of bad beats in the mix. I'll throw one in about the Bengals. They're not back. I know they got the win over the Panthers. The Panthers are the worst, one of the worst teams right alongside the Jags. But for me, the Bengals, you look at their schedule, they've got the Ravens coming up in week 5. I'd still look towards them missing the playoffs. -132 for the Cincinnati Bengals to miss the playoffs. Joe Burrow, Ja'Marr Chase looked a lot better. It wasn't enough for me to turn that ship around. I'm still fading them.
All right, fading the Bengals. So if we're anti-Bengals, we're anti-Browns. Steelers get their first loss of the season. Is it all about the Ravens in the AFC North?
I think so. They continue to roll and look very impressive on Sunday night. Let us know any bad beats, who cashed a couple of monsters. We're going to sneak in a quick commercial timeout on the other side. We're looking ahead to Monday Night Football. Will Levis, it's been a minute since he had that last win, but it was right here in South Beach. Stick with us. Monday night in Miami. The Dolphins playing host to the Tennessee Titans, two struggling teams looking to find that spark in week 4. And MP, when we talk Miami, you think it's good-looking people, you're on the beach, it's fast cars. You're not going to get that in this game tonight. It is going to be ugly football if I've ever seen it.
You know how Thursday nights are the nights where JV plays and then Friday nights the varsity games? This is the JV game for Monday Night Football. The Titans and the Dolphins with Tyler Huntley under center for Miami. We're all just waiting for the entree, which is going to be Seahawks-Lions. But you can still enjoy the appetizer. So I think we're going to have to come up with the same game parlay to keep this one interesting. It'll be sloppy. It won't be very high scoring, but I ultimately think that we'll see a fun game where the Titans get their first win of the season.
And it's been a minute since they've had their last win, but it actually came right here. Week 14 of the 2023 season, it was Will Levis trying to eat his mayonnaise, but they figured out a way to get it past Miami. Snoop Huntley going to get the start for the Dolphins. Let's start leg 1. Who's winning this game?
Yeah, we're taking the Titans to get the first win of the season. I know Will Levis and Tennessee are sitting at 0-4, but dig a little bit deeper. These losses have been competitive, and Levis has just made so many terrible mistakes that has blown the game away. But I do think that we're going to see a little bit of a more conservative play calling from both coaches. Honestly, the Dolphins aren't going to be moving at the pace that they normally do with Tyler Huntley under center. And so if Tennessee can rely on that run game with Tony Pollard, and if their defense, who, by the way, has been a little bit underrated, can step up and slow down Miami's offense, this is a perfect time to go and get your first win. And for the Dolphins, with Tyler Huntley, I know he works well in that Ravens offense. It's a whole lot different with Mike McDaniel. They run so fast. They work in open space, and Tyler Huntley's going to struggle there. So they're both going to have to rely on that run game, in which I think Tennessee actually has that advantage.
Yeah, some great rushing props coming up for both games in the Monday Night Football. If you can find the edge with the run game, you can set that table. But Tony Pollard, he's always been so consistent, so strong without getting, the buzz and the fanfare. What's a way in which we could play the star running back?
So I'll do an alt line for the parlay. I do like over his regular rushing yards, but for this, let's go 50 or more rushing yards for Tony Pollard. He went over this really easily the first 2 weeks. Last week, we didn't see much from Pollard, but I think this is going to be the approach for Callahan. It's going to be, let's get it to our guy that is explosive. I mean, we know that Tony Pollard is quick feet. He can kind of burst out anywhere. And the Miami Dolphins run defense hasn't been good. They've averaged 5 yards per carry, which is honestly pretty impressively bad for a team that's supposed to be competitive on defense. I'll give Tony Pollard the edge here. He just needs to get 50 or more rushing yards.
For the Miami Dolphins trying to keep this game close, it's not going to be about the cheetah or Waddle. It's going to be with that run game. And you bring Huntley and Snoop Huntley at quarterback, and that's what you're trying to achieve.
So Tyler Huntley comes in at quarterback, and he hasn't had many reps with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. It's really easy for us to be persuaded differently because we've seen Tyler Huntley have success as a backup quarterback in Baltimore. That's not happening tonight. There is not a chance he is able to effectively get the ball in the hands of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. However, Tyler Huntley is good at moving down the field with his own legs, so I'm going to take 25 or more rushing yards for Tyler Huntley. His passing capabilities might be limited, but not the rushing ones. He's going to be doing that a lot. I think there'll be design plays where he's going to run. I think there'll be times whenever he just has to because the pressure's there. So if we parlay these together, take Tyler Huntley to go off with his legs, Pollard to have 50 or more, and Titans to get the win, we're sitting at plus 359.
I like it. Things you love to hear on a Monday, especially when there's 2 Monday Night Football games coming up there. Titans straight up, Tony Pollard and Tyler Huntley, plus 359. You coming swinging?
Here we go. You know what? We've got to make this game a little bit more entertaining. I wanted to throw the under in there too, but it said 37.5, so that feels a little bit too low for me. It's going to be an ugly one.
New customers, why not today? Bet 5, get 200 in bonus bets, and for all customers, we've got the profit boost available for every NFL game day at the FanDuel Sportsbook. For now, we're going to sneak in a quick commercial, but don't go anywhere. On the other side, we're getting set for Monday racing from Bensalem, Pennsylvania. Welcome back into FanDuel TV. Happy Monday. We're getting set for live racing from Parks. And Gabe Pruitt going to be up in the booth. Happy to bounce out of Lexington for a couple of days. Has gone deep in the bullpen. JP on the road, getting some travelling in, so we'll get to see Gabe Pruitt in action out here at Parks. I'll either be at the track or in the poker room for the next 72 hours. Gabe Pruitt calling him well, seeing him well, and hopefully chasing a couple of nice scores there. So JP, best of luck. Enjoy the week off. Hopefully it's nothing too taxing. But let's get set for the Monday opener out here at Parks. It looks to be a nice looking field in this one, MP. The short price favourites, the 4 at 8-5, but outside of it, some monster numbers to kick things off.
Yeah, a lot of double-digit numbers for the opener at Parks. They'll be going 6.5 furlongs. It's a claiming event for the 3-year-olds and up. You mentioned the 4 sitting at 8-5. That's awesome for sure. Bit of an off-the-pace style, has gotten the win in the last 2. 3 wins, 11 starts. Speed figures have looked nice. Definitely makes sense why this favorite is at 8-5.
Yeah, very strong for this level. We saw the 9 Financial Strength going past. Here is the 11 Scamp Walker at 6-1. The 5-year-old just having the 1 win for the year, and that was last out on the 16th of September. Gets a little cutback in distance from the 7 furlongs to the 6.5 furlongs here today. So a decent price there for Scamp Walker, the 11. It will start from out wide at 6-1. A couple of big prices toward the inside. We've got the 10 in Rabbit. Hasn't been so great in the last couple of starts. The 9 Financial Strength, decent price there. Adam Bowman gets aboard at 12-1, and the 8 Code Enforcer. No early speed whatsoever, but if we get some signed up out the starting blocks here, Code Enforcer, nice closing kick to watch out for.
The 1 Chasing Stardom at 4-1. Morning Line now at 3-1. A couple other bigger prices on the board, but on the wagering inside of things, you've got the 50-cent Philly Big 5 kicking off, the 10-cent Superfecta. So a lot of different ways to play the opener out there at Parks.
Jump in, play the multi, small investment. You can chase that big return over the next couple of hours. It looks to be a really competitive card as we start a new week of wagering out here at Parks. The 6, you can see your rider's just hopped up here for a second. I'll try and coax in a position, and then the rider will hop back on board. In terms of the inside runners who make a bit of sense, Game Run, the 2, was 8-1 the morning line, now sits at 28-1. Andy Hernandez will be a pilot, so continues to drift in the market. Has been at the same level, has been very consistent in the money finish 2 of the last 3, so keep an eye on the 2 Game Run. If you're looking to play it in with a bit more insurance, maybe look towards the place wager, finish inside the top 2 and you'll return, or the show wager in the sport of racing. To hit that show wager, you just got to finish 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. It does not matter. You can target some of these more erratic run styles, the longer shots on the board, to see if they can run a monster performance. There are no rush to get things underway here ahead of race number 1. So if you're looking to sign up, play, download today the FanDuel Racing app, wherever you watch it along with us. We appreciate it. It looks to be another fantastic week of sports on tap. I tell you what, we've got a couple of big baseball games in the mix, a little double-header to decide who's going to punch their ticket into the playoffs starting tomorrow. We continue to move towards the Breeders' Cup World Championships. That's fast approaching, the first weekend of November, and 2 Monday Night Football games. We've already built a same-game parlay for 1, the other one not too far away. And with that, we stick here with Parks, as it looks like they're about to start the loading process. It's all about the 4 sitting at 8-5. This will be my top endorsement, MP. Tough to go against the recent form. Awesome for sure. Has rattled off back-to-back wins. Gets to a nice spot here today. I think a really good shot of making it 3.
So the 4 sitting at 3-2 makes sense why it's the short price favorite. You've highlighted the 11, maybe the 11 to throw in with an exacta. Scamp Walker, morning line was 3-1, 6-1 now. Coming off that winning performance in the last out in the middle of September, 2 wins, 18 starts. But the recent form has been really consistent. I mean, finishing in the money 5 in a row. Speed figures have looked good. The connections look good. So could I persuade you into a 4-11 exacta?
You know what? 4-11-2 trifecta.
Oh,
let's go
throw the 2 in.
Let's go one further. I like the trifecta when we've got a nice looking field like this one. It looks to be about a couple of big threads here. So 4-11-2 for the trifecta. You can box them. That means they can finish in any order, or you can just play them Ice cold.
Are you boxing or are you playing it ice cold?
I'm gonna box him. It's Monday.
It's Monday. Let's
Slow
give a
start
little
for your boy.
insurance here. All right, we're almost set. We'll send it out on course. This is race number 1 from Parks.
Is next. Advanley Scamp Walker will step up to complete the line. They're at the post. And they are off at the Monday lid lifter from Parks. It was a sluggish beginning for Fenwick Jack as Chasing Stardom hustles on through dead at the inside as they make their way across the backstretch. Keep Them Talking, the long shot, presses the early pace of those two together as they race across the backstretch. Scamp 2 lengths to Rapid, who's out racing wide at the third spot. Commingling will move through dead to his inside. Awesome for sure. Bit of a tardy beginning, but he starts to rush through dead at the rails. They make their way towards the far turn. That is, the opening quarter was up in 22 3/5 seconds. Financial Strength races up 3 wide. It's 3 more back to Scamp Walker. A break of 5 back to Code Enforcer. He's 3 in front of Bluey at the back marker. Game Run. Plenty of work to do here as they move out to the far turn. It's Chasing Stardom. Took all the late action here at 8-5. He's pressed by the 99 to 1 shot. Keep Them Talking. The short route today for Awesome for Sure. And he starts to burst through now. It's Awesome for Sure. Takes over the lead from Chasing Stardom. Keep Them Talking. Trying to stay on the scene there third with the Commingling start to threading out. The half is up in 46 3. Top of the stretch. Awesome for Sure. And Christopher Elliott have kicked 3 lengths clear. Chasing Stardom still giving chase as Commingling moves down the sitter. Way out wide, that is Rabbit, who's late on the scene. But it's Awesome for Sure. Skim the rail, and he is well clear here late. Awesome for Sure. He was awesome today. Awesome for Sure in the opener here 2-1. Commingling finished in second. Chasing Stardom third. Rabbit was fourth at 118 3.
4-7-1, the 4, Awesome for Sure, gets the win. 4 wins in 12 starts, a short price favorite for a reason, and your top endorsement.
Well done if you had it. We'll wait till those prices go official. For now, we're going to take you through a post parade out here at Thistledown, 5 minutes out from the Monday opener. She Wears My Ring leads him out on course. Next up will be Special Beach, bit of an early speed time, going the distance of a mile today.
Sitting at 7-1, the 2, Special Beach sitting at 6-1, has a bit of early speed, 9 wins and 56 starts, coming off a runner-up performance.
Sweet Mobile T, the 4 at 7-1. Rocco Bowen takes them out here today. In the money finish last out.
Here comes the 5, sitting at a big price of 26-1. 4 wins, 52 starts, finished third in the last out.
Jen's Battle is the 6. Moro Cedillo takes them out here for Tina Castellanova. Was a winner last out, trying to go back-to-back.
Calendula, the 7, sitting at 8-5. This one has 11 wins and 52 starts for the 9-year-old mare.
Elika, the 8 at 2-1. TD Horden in the irons. 2 wins from the last 3, so the 8 brings a bit of momentum into this one. 4 minutes out from post time ahead of race number 1 from Thistledown.
With that, we'll sneak in a quick commercial timeout. On the other side, wild card spots up for grab, an NL showdown between the Braves and the Mets. Same game parlay when we return.
Racing getting set to return from Keeneland. And we'll have the complete on-site live coverage. The Fall Meet getting underway on the 4th of October, going through to the 26th of the month. Opening weekend features a couple of doozies. The $600,000 Dali Alcibiades. We've got the $1.2 million Coolmore Turf Mile and the Juddmonte Spin Star. We'll have the complete squad live on site. Todd Schrubb, Scotty Hazelton, Gabby Goddard, Andy Biancone, and the list continues. First post coming up at 1 p.m. Eastern this Friday. So keep it right here with us on FanDuel TV. Looks to be some fantastic fields getting set to square off, MP.
Getting excited to have Keeneland back in the mix out there in Lexington, Kentucky. We've got Thistledown about ready for their kickoff for the opener. We mentioned the 1 is a scratch. The 3 sitting as the favorite at 2-1. Conditions for this one, again, they'll be going a mile. It's 3-year-olds and up, the fillies and mares. It's a claiming event. And the 3 now actually shares favoritism with the 8 we can see on the screen. So the 8, the outside runner, Alika comes in with 4 wins, 17 starts, finished 4th in the last out. Prior to that, had 2 back-to-back winning performances. The 4-year-old filly also has the good connections. Early speed type. Between the 3 and the 8, did you lean towards one of them?
Yeah, I was leaning towards the 8. It wasn't my top endorsement. I was big on the chances of Fiona, the inside runner, the 1, but scratches from this one. So no shock here. Alika, the 8 at 5-2. That'll be the top endorsement for mine. Now, the recent form's been really strong, has gone against tougher competition and looked to be very competitive. So I think this is a nice little spot. We've got the fitness there in bunches. I don't mind the outside draw given the run style, likely looking for more of a pressing trip for this one. So Alika, the 8 at 5-2 makes a bit of sense. Calendula, the 7, now sitting at 5-2, was a nice win 3 back. But if you look at the speed figs, would have to show a bit of improvement at this level. So I'm trying to differentiate between a lot of these runners. I was looking at the figs, and it was the 8 who has to be at the top of the list. In terms of what would have to go right here for the 3 Special Beach at 5-2, this will be the early speed, the front runner of the field. Can we hold on late in this one? That's going to be the question mark.
So the 8, 7, and 3 look to be the biggest threats in this one, with a couple other outliers. The 2 sitting at 7-1. She Wears My Ring. 3 wins, 18 starts, finished 3rd in the last out. You've got the 3 at 5-2, the 4 at 9-1. Sweet Mobility comes in with 3 wins and 21 starts. With that, we'll send it out on course. We are almost ready. This is the opener from Thistledown.
And we'll be ready now for a Monday. Locked up. And they're off. Slow start for Calendula. A good start here for Quarantina. Alika on the outside has some early speed. Sweet Mobile T will join the early fray. Then She Wears My Ring on the inside, saving ground. Calendula's recovered to race far outside. Special Beach is right there, and so is Jen's Battle. A real compact group here as they hit the clubhouse turn. And it's Sweet Mobile T rated now, and Quarantina joins. Alika's out there 3 deep. Calendula 4 wide, nearly 4 across the track as they enter the back stretch. Special Beach is right behind him in 5th, and she's with She Wears My Ring. And Jen's Battle is last, but she's only 3 lengths back. They continue down the back stretch, 4.5 to go. Quarantina between a slim lead. Sweet Mobile T to Buckeye is on the inside, and Alika's out there 3 wide. Calendula now takes off this trio. She Wears My Ring and Special Beach go by her, and Jen's Battle still trails now about 3.5 off. 3.5 furlongs to go. Alika makes her move. There goes Alika on the outside as she takes over. Sweet Mobile T and Quarantina can't go with Alika, so Alika making a big move around the far turn. 5/16 to go. It's Alika in front. Quarantina's trying to counter. Sweet Mobile T can't keep up with his top pair. Special Beach is trying to rally from 4th. Rail belongs to She Wears My Ring. Then it's Jen's Battle and Calendula trails. Alika leads. Alika turns for home with a 2.5 length lead. Quarantina is second. Sweet Mobile T on the inside third. She Wears My Ring is coming with a nice run. She Wears My Ring is finishing with a flourish. She's into second, and she's out after Alika. Final 16th to go. Here comes She Wears My Ring. She's rolling. Alika just in front, but She Wears My Ring blows by Alika. Quarantino is third. Sweet Mobile T ran 4th.
The 2 over the 8, the 2 She Wears My Ring gets the win. 4 wins and 19 starts, upsets the favorite in the opener from Thistledown.
There's a crazy situation happening in the NL wildcard race right now. We have the Braves and the Mets playing a doubleheader today. Each of them just need one win to get in. So if they split, they're both in. But if one team sweeps, then the Diamondbacks sneak in. So 3 teams have a lot on the line today, but me, I'm rooting for some chaos here and betting on the Diamondbacks to get into the playoffs. A lot of people are counting them out because whoever wins game 1 doesn't really have anything to play for in game 2, but we have seen teams that have nothing to play for win a lot of games to end the year. For example, the Mets just lost a series to a Brewers team that had absolutely nothing to play for. So who says that the Mets can't go out and lose another important series? So for me, the best value tonight is betting on the Diamondbacks to make the playoffs and the Mets to miss. But hurry up because game 1 is starting soon and you have to get your bets in right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app before it's too late.
Thank you, Allie. We are getting set for a kickoff between the Mets and the Braves. So essentially, Allie's saying the Braves are going to sweep. It's a doubleheader. And essentially, here's what you got to know. If one of the teams gets 1 win today, they make it into the postseason. If there's a sweep, the Diamondbacks are in, and the team that sweeps gets in as well. So really, why can't we just all shake hands and say, I'll get 1 win, you get another win, and then the Diamondbacks are out of the playoff picture. Of course, that's not how it's going to work. So game 1, close to being underway. We got to build a same-game parlay. How are you approaching the first leg of this 2-game streak?
Ali, we're not seeing it the same. I think the Mets are absolutely live, and I love them in game 1. They're going to get Tylor Megill out there on the bump. He's going to be the better out the starting 2. I think this lineup can get to Schwellenbach, and I think they can get to him early. So give me the Mets with that motivation. I know the baseball over the last week hasn't been fantastic going in towards October, but they need this one. I think Ali highlighted all the points of why they're going to rally in the clubhouse, and we get a nice little price there, plus 128 with the starting pitcher, a bit more juice, a bit more weight going against a rookie in a spot like this. Give me the Mets.
I mean, the Mets outrank the Braves in runs per game. They're coming off an embarrassing series where they lose to a team that had nothing to play for. The Mets are going to be ready to go with the experience. I like that, especially with the value. Leg 2, how are we approaching the pitching? We're
going to play the starting arm for the Mets. Tylor Megill at 4.5 Ks. That's now moved to 5.5 Ks. But the thing I'm trying to angle in here, MP, is there's no room for margin. There's no room for error. They're going to lean on the bullpen as soon as he looks to be a little vulnerable. So he could get 3 Ks, 4 Ks, 5 Ks, but I don't think he's going to go through 5 innings pitched. So I don't think he goes over his K prop here in a must-win spot. So I still like Tylor Megill to have a fantastic Monday afternoon, but I don't think he clears that number. So we'll take unders on the Ks.
Yeah, and it makes sense that it got moved up a little bit, and so now it is going to be sitting at a shorter price, but he doesn't have that much success against this Braves team when you look at recent trends. And the Braves have a lot to play for, so you'd imagine their offense is going to be ready to go. So under the Ks for the Mets pitcher, how are we approaching leg number 3?
There's a lot of intensity coming into this one. It feels like playoff baseball and chase off that final wild card spot. We're going to take the game total unders. You look traditionally, 6 of the last 8 head-to-head has gone south of this number, so it's 7.5. You may think, well, it's not a great total, but I just don't see the offense lighting up late in this one. Both arms are going to be decent without being fantastic, but both pens should be coming into this one. And if you're a baseball bettor, you know the Braves. There's only one way to play them, and it's towards the unders in their ballpark out there at Truist. We'll take the game total.
And the Braves definitely have the advantage in the relief pitchers, and if you parlay these together, I mean, it's at a massive price. It's at plus 732. A win and you're in, and the Mets are looking to bounce back. Look at this, plus 732, and then we can just relax for game 2.
Yeah, shake hands. I'll shake hands with the sportsbook at plus 732. Come on now, 2 games coming up. A little doubleheader smoke to kick off a new baseball week of betting. New customers bet 5, get 200 in bonus bets guaranteed.
All right, we're sneaking in a quick commercial timeout on the other side. Monday night football continues with the game of the night. It's the Seahawks taking on the Lions. Does Seattle remain undefeated? We'll build a same-game parlay when we return. back into FanDuel TV. The live racing continues. We've got a jam-packed hour of racing from Finger Lakes, the opener not too far away. We've got more action from Parks, Thistledown, all of the multi-wagering options available. The start of the Pick 4 kicking off here at Finger Lakes. So a perfect time to head over to the FanDuel Racing app. New customers can get a no-sweat first bet up to $500. Scan the QR code. It'll take you over to the FanDuel Racing app where you can play today.
There is no shortage on tap as we move through the next hour. So let's get out to Finger Lakes ahead of race number 1. As you can see, they're already out there on the track. It's all about the 5. Currently sitting at 7-5. Taking a look at the conditions for this one, it will be for the 3-year-olds and up, which have not won 2 races since the 30th of September of 2023, so in the last 12 months, which have never won 4 races lifetime. So I've got to take a look at the conditions, a couple of layers for this one. The 6 is a scratch. Let's start with the favourite, the 5, ASAP Restoration. The 5-year-old gelding has been consistent prior to that last start on the 10th, so if you put a line through that, makes sense as to why this is the shortest price on the board. But when I was taking a look at this field, MP, it was tough trying to come up with that number 1 selection. Really not a lot of standout form coming back in.
So maybe a chance to look at some of the bigger prices. If the favorite's not making sense, the 7-5 favorite is the 5, ASAP Restoration. As you mentioned, has the 3 wins and 22 starts for the 5-year-old gelding. How about the inside runner sitting at plus 250 sportsbook odds? The 1 has 4 wins, 32 starts. Coming off a little bit of a layoff here, we'll get a softer spot in class. Finished in the money 2 of the last 4. A win back in June. 3rd place finish at the last out.
At 5-2, certainly has the credentials. That is the 1, the inside runner. We've got the 2 now sitting at 6-1. Buck Wild likely coming from off the pace. The 3, Riley B, should be the early speed type of the field, but it's been speed and fade of late. I think the 4 makes a bit of sense here. Anything possible. Fresh off that win last out at 9-2. We know the run style going to be coming from off the pace. I think we get a little bit signed up early in this one. It's just at the distance. But for this 9-year-old, still showing up contending at a very high clip.
I mean, yeah, look at the 4 finished as a winner in the last out after starting very far back. So definitely has that closing kick. The 4 sitting at 4-1. The favorite at 7-5. Couple big prices on the outside with the 7 at 18-1 and the outside runner sitting at 10-1. The outside runner comes in with 3 wins and 19 starts. The 4-year-old gelding has never raced at the route, so we'll see how the longer distance does for the 8. And the 7 sitting as your biggest price on the board at 18-1.
Yeah, the 8, Angelic Mission, really hasn't had the early speed at the sprint distance, but may try and go forward early in this one. Getting out to the route here this afternoon. Connections just trying to change things up to try and turn around the recent fortune. So let's see if it works in favour for the outside runner as the 7 is just about to go into line. That's Ringgood, a little stuck at the level, just 4 wins from 58 career starts. In terms of the speed figs, looking to get those trending back in the right direction. We're almost set for a start. If you're playing along, best of luck.
And we're off. Angelic Vision on the far outside broke sharply today. Riley B takes the 2nd position early. ASAP Restoration alongside. Ringgood in the 4th position, getting outside, approaching the first turn run. Octuliber down on the fence in the meantime is 3rd last. Anything Passable is 2nd to last early. And Buck Wild is at the back of the pack, 7 lengths behind. Around the clubhouse turn they go. And Angelic Vision sets a moderate clip. Angelic Mission, the leader here, by a touch more than a length. Riley B right behind on a hold 2nd. ASAP Restoration 3rd. Ringgood in the 3-path, 3 deep. Gap of 2 to Anything Passable. Octuliber drops back to the 2nd last position, and Buck Wild can still see them all. 7 behind Angelic Mission, the gray, who continues to pave the way in the opener. A half length in front. Riley B on the outside, getting closer, applying the heat. Doesn't want to give Angelic Mission too easy of a time of it here. ASAP Restoration niggled along a little bit from the 3rd position. Ringgood parked outside of him, 4 wide going into the turn. Gap of 2 to Anything Passable. He's sent along. Buck Wild gaining position now from the back of the field, and Octuliber has dropped out of it as they round the far turn. Angelic Mission opens up 2.5 lengths now. Buck Wild on the inside continues to make up ground all the way a joint 2nd with Ringgood coming to the top of the lane. Anything Passable caught out wide, turning for home in fourth. They're off the turn in the opener. Angelic Mission 2 lengths ahead. Buck Wild under the left-handed encouragement second. Ring Good third. Tries to reel in the front runner, and Anything Passable is gathering momentum on the far outside. Here comes Anything Passable swooping to the front. And Anything Passable draws clear late to score by a length and 3/4. Angelic Mission was second. Buck Wild third. Ring Good fourth.
The 4 over the 8, Anything Possible gets the win. 97 starts, 17 wins for the 9-year-old gelding. Going off at 5-2, and you called this one your top endorsement.
Just warming up. Start number 97. Let's
Wow.
just make it another win. Goes back to back. So the 9-year-old continues to impress going through 2024. I tell you what, at that point in the race, it was all over. The 4 over the 8, a close one there in the minor, so hold all tickets.
We'll wait till those prices go official. On the other side, we talk more NFL. Monday Night Football, a doubleheader. We've got the Lions taking on the Seahawks, which means we've got to build a same-game parlay. Can the Seattle Seahawks stay undefeated?
Welcome back into FanDuel TV Medal Monday. I tell you what, quick shout out to Star Track announcer from Parks, Jessica Parkett, not in the booth this afternoon. Why? Because over there competing in a marathon. Are you kidding me?
Jessica Paquette, I mean, she is so impressive. I feel like this is going to be her 3rd marathon at least, right?
Is it too late to add JP as our MVP Monday?
Yeah, she's getting a top endorsement for MVP Monday. Definitely next time we've got her in, we got to ask her about her marathon experience, but really impressive. I thought she was on the IR. She's back. She's ready to go.
I'll tell you what, not easy. I remember when I ran my first marathon. It's
Oh,
a test.
stop.
It's a test. It was the last one as
Why are you
well.
making Jessica's marathon about you? Come on, give her the flowers, let her enjoy. All right, we've got Parks race number 2. Congratulations to Jessica Paquette, who continues to shine over there in Germany. All right, we've got the favorite in this one sitting at 4-5 -125. What did you make of the favorite in race number 2 at Parks?
Getting a little short here. I didn't have a strong opinion. I was big on the inside runner. Inside runner scratches from this one, but not surprised that the 4 now sitting at that kind of price. Incan Moon Goddess should be coming from off the pace. Just had the 1 start prior. I know it's a maiden claiming going the 6 furlongs, but I'd want to see a little more. Was far from a standout back there on the 9th of September. So I dare say a little vulnerable in this spot. In terms of different directions to go, the 3 sitting at 7-2. Has the experience of the field, still chasing that first victory in the 14th career start, and the 5 at 4-1. They're the top 3 choices. Outside of those, we've got double digits all over this board, and that's what you want to see.
And you want to see maybe a little long shot go off for Monday morning. 4-5 is the short price favorite. The 4 double digits all over the board. The 5 stay opportunistic, sitting at 4-1. As we just await the 9 and 10 to load into the gate, the 9 Tan Palm sitting at 20-1. 4 starts yet to finish in the money, and the 10 Dixie Music looking for the first win in the 14th start. We'll send it out on course. This is race number 2 from Parx.
They're at the post. And they are off. There goes Norho's Gamble. Burst out there quickly. Center of the track, Picardi is also looking to mix it up. And Orbs Party Girl, long shot there to their inside. Now stay opportunistic. Moves through there at the inside to make it 4 across with the Tan Pam just off the early top flank there, the 5th spot. It's 2 down to Bahamian Baby is out racing in 6th. The favorite Incan Moon Goddess broke 7th with Twinkle Twinkle, the first-time starter, down at the inside 8th, and Dixie Music is out last. The quarter contested here, 22-3, and they are 3 across out of the far turn. That Stay Opportunistic down at the inside. It was claimed a length advantage. Orbs Party Girl at a big price there. Battles on with Picardi. Back 3 more back to Norho's Gamble. Races from 4th. It's 2 more to Bahamian Baby as Incan Moon Goddess starts to accelerate, but she's still tit off the top. Stay Opportunistic trying to give this field the slip here. And it's Stay Opportunistic, who's 5 clear turning for home. The half is 46-2. Picardi rallies down the sitter there with Bahamian Baby now slipping through down at the inside. Way out wide, that's Norho's Gamble, but it's all Stay Opportunistic, maintaining a 5-length margin. Bahamian Baby is second with Norho's Gamble running on late. Stay Opportunistic. She needs a line with Bahamian Baby inching closer, but it's Stay Opportunistic. Stay Opportunistic will win it. Bahamian Baby was second. Norho's Gamble appeared to hold the 3rd spot from Incan Moon Goddess in 1:14-2.
5-3-8 across the wire there for the second from Parx. The 5 finishes up on top. We'll wait until those prices go official. For now, weekend set for Monday Night Football. The public is absolutely loving the Titans and the Lions here tonight. The Titans and the Dolphins looking to find that spark. Seattle continue to surge, but is this going to be the first test of the season in Detroit? Lions laying 4.5 as your favorites.
We just got to see the public numbers. Does this mean I'm basic? Because I'm riding with the Titans. I'm riding with the Lions. I like an upset in the first game and a blowout in this one. It's Lions versus Seahawks. Seattle, you've had your fun. I know you're sitting undefeated, but here comes a big test against one of the best teams in the NFC. I'm riding high on Detroit.
Okay, give us the sell. Detroit at home. I feel like we're always seeing plenty of points in this matchup.
Yeah, I think we're going to see points in this one. For leg number 1, I'm going to take the Lions at -4.5 to cover the spread. Fun's up for Seattle. Let's go. Lions are a better team on all levels. Look, on offense, the running game is better. They've got the better quarterback. Jared Goff, indoors in this spot, has one of the best ATS records. I think this offense is going to be electric tonight. And though the Seahawks defense has looked really good, I mean, Mike McDonald comes over from the Ravens, and he has really held teams to scoring underneath. You look at the pass rush, that's been good. I think that the Lions are still going to find ways to exploit that pass game, exploit the run game, and they're going to get the victory, and they're going to cover at -4.5.
If they're going to cover the number, Jared Goff is going to have to be fantastic, but he's going to need one of these high-octane weapons to step up and get it done. Who's a player prop that we can throw on the parlay?
Let's look at the best receiver on the field today. That's going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm going to take 7 or more receptions. He's actually 4th in the league in terms of receptions this year. He's had 7 in the last couple, and I just think this is going to be Jared Goff's spot where he just throws it to his wide receiver 1. They haven't really been able to spread the ball that successfully amongst their receivers, but it doesn't really matter. When you've got one of the best route runners in the game, you've got one of the best receivers playing out there, just rely on the number 1 guy. Let's take Amon-Ra to have 7 or more receptions.
Seattle continue to score. Detroit have been absolutely dominating, and we expect to see the same again here for Monday Night Football. The big trend the last 3 games, in each second half, there's been more than 41 points scored combined. That's in the second half alone of the last 3. How do we play the points?
Well, we got to hope that those trends continue, because I'm taking over 46.5 for the game total. I think the defenses are going to be asleep tonight. I know that's the storyline for Seattle, but not today. Not going up against this high-octane offense of the Detroit Lions. Luckily for Seattle, I mean, they do have some weapons with not only DK Metcalf, they've got JSN and Jackson Smith-Njigba. He's been their primary slot receiver, and luckily for him, they're going up against a Lions defense that hasn't been great at stopping the slot receivers and is also going to be without Brian Branch. So I think that there are some injuries on defense to both of these teams that are going to cause the points to even go more up than normal.
Plus 464, 3 legs, same game parlay. It sounds like someone is writing off Geno once again.
Oh, come on. We are writing off Geno once again. Look, Seattle Seahawks, they're better already than most people expected, but they're going up against the team that should have been in the Super Bowl last season. The Lions get this win easily tonight.
Yeah, and keeping with that theme of Germany, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Have you seen the wide receiver? He can speak fluent German. This guy's an absolute superstar. So, like, Amon-Ra to have a big performance. The Lions to cover that number in total. Let's see plenty of points. Monday Night Football fast approaching. 2 games you can jump into and play. And 2 same-game parlays dished out by the one and only.
We've had 3 same-game parlays this show already, so plus money expected. New customers, head over to the FanDuel Sportsbook app and play today. Welcome back into FanDuel TV. Race 2 from Thistledown getting ready to be underway, where the 6 is the favorite, sitting at 3-2. On the wagering side of things, kicking off the $1 pick 3. You've got the daily double. You've got a couple different exotics you can play. And I'm seeing you're sticking with the favorite at 3-2. The 6 is your top endorsement.
When it makes sense to play the favorite, jump in and play the favorite. They do win between 30 and 34% of their starts in the sport of racing. And I'll tell you what, they also win a lot of football games. 10 of 13 straight up moneyline favourites there. But at plus 150, the sell on the number 6 here, Cause of Love, is the recent form. Really consistent. That tells me there's fitness here, but also well placed by the connections. Was a winner 2 back, has had runner-ups sprinkled on either side of those, and gets back to the 6th furlong. So the number 6, Cause of Love, we're getting a good look at here. Looks fantastic. Dead fit out there on course with your pony. Other directions to go. We saw the 4 going through there at 5-2. That is Gale's Dancer, the 5-year-old mare, who's also coming in with pretty strong form for trainer Gary Johnson. Gets Moro Cedillo aboard for the ride here today and has that early speed of the field.
How about the 2, Clifton's Ballerina? Has early speed as well. 5 wins, 30 starts, gets a softer spot here today. It's the 4th start since the layoff. Finished 3rd in the last out, so has gotten a bit better since that layoff. Think the 2 could be a threat?
I think so, but has always struggled stretching out to the 6 furlong. Something about from the 5.5 up to the 6, we just cannot get the same version of this mare. So Clifton's Ballerina, the 2, likely going to try and go forward with the 4. That's where the pace pressure will be coming from. On the inside, you got Wolfie's Princess. Jose Bracho takes the mount, sitting at 8-1. Speed Figs would have to show a bit of improvement to factor in at this level here today. So I think the board's spot on. It should be the 6 as the 1 to beat. The 4 and the 2 likely going to battle it out on the front end, having that early speed. And as you can see there, you can bet on the FanDuel Racing via the FanDuel Racing app. You can sign up, download it, and play from exactly where you're watching along with us here on FanDuel TV. So hopefully you had a fantastic weekend of wagering. Let us know on the old socials if you hit a couple of nice scores, who are the standout runners for you. But let's see if we can carry that momentum into a new week here as we get set for the second from Thistledown.
Here's the 7 sitting at 18-1, one of the longer shots on the board. Sweet Empire does have a little bit of early speed, finished 6th in the last out. Got a win 2-back, though. That was in May. So second start since the layoff. Took a little bit of a break after that win. 5 wins and 58 starts. Has had success here at Thistle. So 3 wins and 28 starts at the course. And at the distance has also had success. 5 wins and 45 starts at the distance.
And we'll look to fire with a big performance second off the layoffs. You always hear me go on about second up, third up. I think that's a pretty strong angle, especially for a 6-year-old mare. You know, off the layoff, may need a race or 2 before we can really expect a big performance. If you look at the barn, they're at a 26% success rate second off the layoff. So this is a really good spot for the 7 Sweet Empire, and suddenly you get a fantastic number at 16-1.
Yeah, plus 1,600 sportsbook odds. The 7 looking to be a threat here today. The outside runner, Sweet Empire. As we just await the last couple outside runners to load into the gate, we will send it out on course. This is race number 2 from Thistledown.
Cause of Love goes in. And Sweet Empire will be the last in line. Locked up. And they're off. Sweet Empire from the outside, tailed the Lion off to a good start. Beautiful last showing speed. Clifton's Ballerina, Gale's Dancer, Fun 5. And it's Cause of Love. She's out in 6th. Early trailer is Wolfie's Princess. Tailed the Lion just in front. She had beautiful last on her inside and Sweet Empire on her outside. Clifton's Ballerinas to the inside here of Gale's Dancer. Cause of Love is furthest out, and the trailer is Wolfie's Princess, and she's about 9 or 10 off. 3.5 to go. Still these 3. Beautiful last, tail of the line, and Sweet Empire. Clifton's Ballerina and Cause of Love are getting closer. Gale's Dancer trying to keep up, but she's now 8 or 9 lengths off. And Wolfie's Princess has not been involved yet. They race to the quarter pole, and it's Sweet Empire just in front of Tail of the Line and Beautiful Lass. Clifton's Ballerinas right there behind leaders in 4th. And then it's Cause of Love, who has to do a bit better from 5th. She's about 5 lengths behind Sweet Empire. And Sweet Empire turns for home with a 3-length lead. Clifton's Ballerina and Tail of the Leon trying to catch Sweet Empire. 1 furlong to go. Sweet Empire still clear. Cause of Love has hit her best stride as Clifton's Ballerina moves into 2nd. But Sweet Empire still in front. And Sweet Empire going on to a nice win at 19-1. Cause of Love was 2nd. Photo for 3rd between Tail of the Lion and Gale's Dancer.
The 7 over the 6. Sweet Empire gets the win, upsets the favorite. 6 wins and 59 starts. And I feel like you put this horse into the winner's circle after hyping it up.
That's going to be a big prize coming. Second off the layoff, that was the angle for the barn. Sweet Empire, the 7, well done. We'll wait until those prices go official. We're getting set for the 2nd from Finger Lakes. They're going to make their way out onto the course. We'll take you through a post parade so you can get eyes on all of the competitors and just see how they're looking to shape up as they go through the motions here. 5.5 furlongs, maiden special weight. The 2, PA Advantage, leads him out onto the course. A first-time starter for Paul Barrow.
Next up, the 3, Spirit Willing, sitting at 11-1, a first-time starter. The dam does have 2 winners from 4 starters.
Dharma is the 4, has the experience over the field, 4 for 6 in the money.
Here comes the 5, Cruise In to Win. I like that name. 26-1, 6 starts, so has the experience of the field, but yet to finish in the money.
Out of the Cloud is the 6. I thought was absolutely live here. Jacqueline Davis gets aboard, sits at 9-2. Playing with Dolls is the 7. Now at 3-1 on the board. It just has the 4 starts. Prime has been very consistent. So that's going to be your field here for race number 2 from Finger Lakes. We're just 3 minutes out from post time. If you're looking to jump in, we will have the Daily Double and the Pick 3 available starting right here in race number 2 from Finger Lakes. No shortage on a Monday afternoon in the sport of horse racing. Every couple of minutes we are jumping in and getting after it. And with that, we're going to bring it back into HQ, talk a little Monday night football. We're building parlays. We're talking anytime touchdown scorers and top props in the mix. I tell you what, we've got some fantastic matchups here. I've got one. I'm going to hold on to it. You guys aren't going to miss this one. 3 favourite top props for Monday Night Football, and we've got 2 games to choose from.
Well, let's choose the best game. It's the Lions-Seahawks. We'll get a prop in for the other one. But I want to throw an angle out for the Seahawks, even though I do like the Lions in this spot. JSN, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. He's been seeing the second most targets as, you know, when you look at DK Metcalf, but he's actually getting more than Tyler Lockett. I'm going to take over 50.5 receiving yards for JSN tonight. One thing that I think we highlighted in the parlay that really is a good angle for Seattle is the slot receiver position, JSN being their primary slot receiver. And while the Lions have had success in the pass defense, one area where they're a little bit vulnerable is in the slot receiver. They aren't going to have Brian Branch out there, who typically covers that spot. So I think JSN is definitely going to see a lot of looks, a lot of targets, and he can easily clear 50.5 receiving yards.
I can't believe you're taking shots at the Tennessee Titans game going against the Dolphins. That's where my favorite prop is coming from tonight, and it's a rushing prop behind a quarterback. And you're probably thinking Snoop Huntley. No, it's Will Levis for the Tennessee Titans. How many more chances is my guy going to get? At 16.5 rushing yards, this has to be his time to shine. I tell you what, last time he was over there in South Beach, he absolutely got it done. This is where the last win came from for the Titans in Week 14 of the 2023 season. I think it's going to be happy returns. What hasn't been working out is the arm, the turnovers, the interceptions. Best way to cure that, just hold the rock, get it downfield. He's gone over 30 yards in 2 of his last 3 games at 16.5. That's 2 carries. I think he smashes well and truly past this one tonight.
See, when you said you were going to give a Will Levis prop, I thought it definitely has to be Will Levis anytime interception. But unfortunately, it's at -174. So we'll play the rushing yards instead for Will Levis. All right, back to the good game. I am looking at David Montgomery over 8.5 receiving yards. So I'm surprised by this line because he had 16 receiving yards last week, 35 the week prior. And obviously you're not going to see David Montgomery line up like a receiver, but you could see those quick little check down passes from Jared Goff. And he's so tough. He's so good at tackling yards after contact. It only would take maybe 2 or 3 receptions. He's gone 3 for 3 last week on receptions. I think that they'll target him just a little bit in those quick plays. If it's going to be fast paced, rely on David Montgomery. He only has to get 9 receiving yards. He can easily clear this.
Bit of a yak monster. Just a little dink and dunk down the field. We get it to over 8.5. My guy Will Levis to have a monster night with that run game. Has to do everything in his power. And then my guy Jackson.
There we go. That's all you got to go. These are our player props going on for Monday Night Football. It is a double header. And look, if you don't have an angle or a lean in the game, maybe you look at the props. I'm still saying this, though. Will Levis, interception. Even with the short price, it still might be worth a little sprinkle.
Word on the street is you went 8 for 8 with player props on Sunday afternoon. That's the mail I'm getting coming across. You can jump in and play those at the FanDuel Sportsbook. Two games kicking off for Monday Night Football. We have prices coming across from Parks. Race number 2 is in the books. Stay opportunistic. The 5 gets it done, going off at 2 to 1. $2 win investment, bringing back $6.20. $3 for the place, $2.40 for the show. It was the 5 over the 3 over the 4 to get it done for the 50-cent trifecta.
Race 3, not too far away. We're just 8 minutes to post time. To start our optional claiming event for the Fillies and Mares, 3-year-olds and up, they're going the sprint of 6 furlongs. The 6 should have been a cowgirl is the favorite, sitting at 3-2. Your top endorsement here. So we've seen the favorites get the job done so far. You're sticking with the favorite here in this one.
Yeah, a little mixed bag. We've seen a couple of big prices, a couple of formful results, but I do think it's all about the 6 in this spot. Should be coming from off the pace. Nice little trip last out, just bested out for the runner-up. Gets back to a level, very well suited, this 3-year-old filly, and gets Paco Lopez aboard for the ride. So when we talk about the difference makers star jockeys. It's Paco Lopez here at Parks. He gets in the irons. He is getting absolutely everything out of that mount and has a really good chance here in the third, which should have been a cowgirl. So this race, just 8 minutes to post time. If you're looking to jump in and play a little closer, will be the second from Finger Lakes, a maiden special weights. All of these runners still in search for that first career victory.
The fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, they're out there on the dirt listed as fast. They're going the sprint of 5.5 furlongs. Dharma, the 4, is the favorite at 2-1, plus 200 sportsbook odds. A couple other threats, the inside runner sitting at 5-2. She's Wicked with just 1 star, finishing 5th in that one out. So when you're looking at these maiden special weights, you know, the horses looking for their first win, do you typically like to go with experience, or maybe the experience hasn't been good, so you go with the first-time starters?
Yeah, it's a tough one. You know, positive experience is going to be an edge, but scar tissue, been stuck at this level and yet to figure it out, well, that's going to work against. But a couple of things we look at: how's the barn, the trainer done in this spot prior? Is there precocity? Taking a look at mum and dad and the morning works. Have they shown us a bit of ability, especially for the first-time starters here? So for the 4 Dharma, it's more the experience angle here for the Ferraro team. This 3-year-old filly has had 6 starts, has raced with stakes competition, and has had 4 in-the-money finishes through the first 6. So this tells me it's a younger runner, but absolutely enjoys showing up to race day and competing. So 2-1, not a bad number there. The 6 now sitting at 7-2. This was the top endorsement out of the cloud. Similar theme, has been at the level, has been knocking on the door. Was a runner-up 2 back, was a nice game 4th. The last out with a better trip. I think the 6 out of the cloud could run a big one here today.
All right, so you're sticking with the experience for the top endorsement. The 4-year-old filly will be making the 17th start here today. A couple of first-time starters with the inside runners. The 1 actually making the 2nd start here today, but the 2, PA Advantage, making the debut here, as well as the 3. We just await a couple more to load into the gate, so we will send it out on course. This is race 2 from Finger Lakes.
Waiting for Playing with Dolls. Goes it. We're ready to go. And they're off. Spirit Wiling off slowly from post position number 3 and is sluggish after that, well behind. Cruising to Win has the most early lick with She's Wicked, a half length back in the 2nd position. Gap of 2 to PA Advantage, out of the cloud alongside. Playing with Dolls in the 5th position. Dharma takes the 2nd last position, 7 off the lead, gap of 5 to Spirit Wiling. The slow starter is last. First, the long shot. Cruising to Win, who hits the forward turn comfortably clear. Length and a half's the margin. PA Advantage sent along from the 2nd position, out of the cloud, still alongside. She's Wicked has dropped back a couple spots, 4th on the fence, 2.5 lengths behind with Playing Dolls. Dharma pushed along, needs to pick it up, and Spirit Wiling tries to get into it from the back, is making up a little ground, but still has a lot of work to do at the top of the stretch. Out of the cloud on the outside, corrals the early leader, Cruising to Win, and it's now out of the cloud in front. Outside, Playing with Dolls is coming with a rally. Out of the clouds needs to finish. Playing with Dolls on the outside, surging late. Out of the cloud, close home, got it. Out of the cloud to score. Playing with Dolls was 2nd. Dharma came on for 3rd, but was beaten again. And then PA Advantage 4th.
6-7 for another one for you. Out of the cloud, gets the win, breaks the maiden, and the 17th career start at Finger Lakes.
Yeah, it's a done first win of the campaign there. We'll wait until those prices go official. For now, we're going to sneak in a quick commercial, but on the other side, who has the edge? The key positional matchups. The Detroit Lions getting set to square off with Seattle.
Welcome back into FanDuel TV. The live racing continues on a Monday with Parks race number 3, 1 minute to post time. Looking at the conditions for this one, it's an optional claiming event for the 3-year-olds and up, the fillies and mares. They'll be going 6 furlongs. On the wagering side of things, you've got your daily double available, the pick 3, a couple of different exotics with the exacta, trifecta, superfecta available. And the 6, we're getting a good look at on the screen. Should have been a Cowgirl, is the favorite at plus 120 sportsbook odds.
Yeah, it's going to get a lot of attention in the market here. Paco Lopez taking the mount for a lot of your horse players, bettors who play Parks on the weekly. No surprises here. Paco Lopez at a 23% success rate when he coming in for the mount. So it should have been a Cowgirl. The 6 projects to be the one to beat. Other contenders here from the inside, it's the 1 at 2-1. Pasadena Chanel, the 3-year-old filly, an impressive win, 2 back, breaking the maiden, stepped it up with tougher foes last out and ran a big race, back there on the 13th of September on the turf course. Changes up the surface here today, gets back out there onto the dirt. I think should benefit from that. So the board's telling us it's all about the 1 and the 6 squaring off. The other runners, a bit of value behind some of these types. I'll tell you what, if you're looking for the value, Fireball Express, the 2, was 9-2 on the morning line, now sitting at 14-1, has the early speed of the field. At the distance, looks to have had success prior, so I think a really good chance at outrunning that number.
Don't slip on the 5, loading into the gate right now. Chit Chat Chubb sitting at 5-1, just 1 win in 6 starts, but coming off that winning performance and a bit of a progressive type. I mean, it's gotten better in every race that they've run. So Chit Chat Chubb sitting at 5-1.
Let's see how it all plays out. The outside runner is going into line and will be set for a start. It's race number 3 from Parks.
They're at the post. And they are off. Bad beginning for Fireball Express. She stumbled at the start. Nabaldine shoots out quickly with Chit Chat Chubb alongside. Should have been a Cowgirl. Makes it 3 across there in the early stages. Zone 80 comes out just off the top. Trio in 4th. Pacey Diaz-Chanel's dead at the inside of 5th. The Mora is up at the outside. And Fireball Express trying to heat up after the bad beginning. But it's just 4 lengths here. A tight pack across the backstretch. Nabaldine, the target up top. Chit Chat Chubb running just off the pacemaker is Ode to Edie. Tries to squeeze through in tight quarters, set at the inside 3rd. The opening quarter was 23 seconds. Should have been a Cowgirl. The favorite well spotted there up at the outside in 4th as Nomura continues to gain good ground up at the outside 3 wide. Suddenly just 2.5 lengths off the lead. Pacey Diaz-Chanel's in tight traffic. And Fireball Express starts to gap off at the back as they run to the top of the stretch with a quarter mile left to go. Chit Chat Chubb pouring the pressure to Nabaldine. Moving up 3 wide. Should have been a Cowgirl. Starts to roll up there to a do battle, but it's Chit Chat Chubb at mid-stretch. Should have been a Cowgirl. Trying to reach late down the center. Nabaldine battles on there. So 3-way breakaway up top. It's Chit Chat Chubb holding firm from should have been a Cowgirl. Nabaldine is the 3rd. Chit Chat Chubb. The fresh claim will wet it. Very close for 2nd. Looked like Nabaldine was there to grab that spot from should have been a Cowgirl. Ode to Edie finished 4th in 1:13-1.
Chit Chat Chubb, the 5 gets the score. Well called by UMP. Highlighted this runner just before going into that starting gate. We'll wait until those prices go official. We turn it back to the gridiron. 2 games for Monday Night Football. We're looking at the Lions squaring off against Seattle. This game will be played in Detroit. It really feels like a black tie affair. The odds makers projected to be a close one. 2 teams with a lot of ability. Seattle still undefeated. Can they keep it going this evening?
I don't think they're going to keep it going, and that's because I don't think that they have the edge when we look at all these positions. We'll go through it position by position, starting with the quarterback, Jared Goff versus Geno Smith. Look, credit to Geno and what he's done for Seattle. He was supposed to be this temporary solution for the Seahawks, but we saw the performance last year headed into this season, and he's done a really good job at keeping this offense on par. So I'm going to stick, though, with Jared Goff. No surprise here. Let's just start with indoor spot for Jared Goff. He is 26-9 against the spread. He is accurate. I've got him as a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. This offense revolves around Jared Goff, even though there is so many different weapons on here. Jared Goff definitely getting the QB advantage.
Jared Goff over Geno Smith at home in his ballpark. To get the passing game going, you've got to get the run to set the table. Who's going to have the better of the running backs tonight?
Well, we've got a dynamic duo with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. They're getting the running back advantage. We'll give credit to Kenneth Walker, but Kenneth Walker, he's not fully healthy, and that's going to really hurt them going up against a Lions run defense that's had some success. I'll give it to Monty and give it to Gibbs. I mean, Monty's the guy on the goal line. You're going to give it to him, boom, into the end zone. Jahmyr Gibbs, you can get him involved in the passing game. He is quick. He can run all different types of routes. So no surprise, the running back group definitely going to Gibbs and Montgomery.
And for the wide receiver position, I feel like, DK Metcalf is fantastic, the big fella at 6'4", but it's going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, I'm giving it to Amon-Ra St. Brown, who I really believe is like a perfect receiver on all levels. He's a locker room guy, and his on-field performance is next level. He's one of the best route runners, as we say. The way he can just track the ball down the field, he's got great hands. He's going to find ways to connect with Jared Goff. Jared Goff loves to get to his number one guy. We mentioned that with the Lions offense. They're not going to be the type that just spreads the ball out to like 5 different receivers. They're going to rely on their top guy. So yes, Amon-Ra St. Brown getting the wide receiver advantage.
What about that tight end position? Find the edge, find the value there at the sportsbook. Who's going to have the lean?
I'm sorry, Seattle. I keep fading all of your guys' players here, but it's going to be Sam Laporta over Noah Fant. Sam Laporta, a fantastic tight end. He had a breakout rookie season last year, and he's continued that success. Now, we might have not seen the same amount of yards as we did last season, but he's still involved. He's getting better as a blocker, and we know his ability as a pass catcher as well. I like him for an anytime touchdown score as well tonight, and I think he goes off pretty big.
Defense wins championships. It could win Monday Night Football, but I tell you what, going off this board, Detroit are looking very strong for their chances going against Seattle. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end edge. What about defense?
I'll say this, the X factor for Seattle tonight, if they want to win the game, the Seahawks defense is going to be the reason why. I'll give Seattle the defensive edge. So Mike McDaniel comes in, replaces Pete Carroll as head coach. And one of the best things about Mike McDaniel is what he did to the Ravens defense. He's doing that the same way in Seattle. They've had a great defense through the first 3 weeks of football. Now, the only issue here is they have a couple injuries. So a couple linebackers out for Seattle, which is really going to hurt that pass rush, going to hurt that pressure that we've seen for the Seahawks. Meanwhile, the Lions, I'd say they're still about mid defensively. So Seattle, you've got to stop the run, stop the pass in order to get the win here tonight.
Detroit have the edge. Detroit on the money line, on the points, cover the points at home.
I like them to cover at -4.5. I mean, just that Jared Goff stat alone, 26-9 ATS indoors. We're taking the Lions tonight.
Let's go. The Lions getting set to roll for Monday Night Football. You can jump in and play a lot of great markets getting set up for both games. With that, we're going to sneak in a quick commercial. Speaking of some of those markets, anytime touchdown scorers, we had a clean sweep on Sunday. Can we run it back today? We'll find out.
It's time for another Monday Night Football doubleheader, which means we got 2 chances to bet on some underdog touchdown props. We're going to start out in Miami. There are a few guys I like higher than plus 250, DeAndre Hopkins being the main one, but I do want to go way down and grab this Dolphins defense. I feel like we're getting great value going up against Will Levis, and the Titans lead the league in turnovers per game by a pretty big margin. 2 of those have turned into Will Levis pick sixes, and I feel like he's always good for a few bad decisions in a game, and I also like Miami at this price a lot. But then we are also going to go with Lockett in the other game. I mean, he has yet to score a touchdown this year, but in his last 4 against Detroit, he has 4 touchdowns, and that counts for a lot in a league that is so matchup driven. I feel like Lockett has a lot left in the tank, and that is going to shine tonight. So those are my touchdown picks, but I want to hear what you're liking. So place your bets and let me know on the FanDuel Sportsbook app.
Thank you, Allie. We've got 2 games for a doubleheader in Monday Night Football. It's the Titans taking on the Dolphins, the Lions versus the Seahawks. We've built same-game parlays. We've talked about who has the edge, top props. But Allie highlighted her top anytime touchdown scores. You've been on quite the primetime streak with anytime touchdowns. So where are you looking for the first one tonight?
It's big bad Tony Pollard, star running back for the Titans. Will Levis is going to do enough to get him down the field, but Tony Pollard's going to get him into the house. You look at the red zone situational trends here for the Miami Dolphins, second worst in the NFL. They've given up 5 rushing touchdowns through the first 3 weeks. Tony Pollard is getting ready to eat. My guy is still an absolute monster. Plus 125. He's only had the 1 tutty through the first 3, but I'm expecting him to get another one back into the house here this evening. The Dolphins, they'll be like Swiss cheese within their own 20. Pollard should benefit from it.
The Dolphins are giving up 5 yards per carry to running backs this season. Tony Pollard is going to be the key to victory for the Titans, and he's the kind of guy that can score anywhere on the field. He's definitely going to be threatening for a touchdown. I'm going to go with another running back. Not as good value, but it's David Montgomery at minus 130. And the reason why it's short like this is because not only has David Montgomery had a touchdown in all 3 games this season, he's had 17 touchdowns in 18 games since joining the Lions. That is a stat to look at. Monty is the kind of guy that, yes, they're going to give it to whenever they're within the 5-yard line, but he's shown his ability to break off the run as well. So he's not the same as like a Pollard or anything, but he is good at yards after contact, and I really like the way the Lions are relying on him. And against the Seahawks, who haven't been as good at stopping the run, I think that there is still value at minus 130.
And the odds makers tell us everything about this game. There's going to be a lot of points, a lot of touchdowns. I'll throw in a wide receiver, DK Metcalf, into the mix. At 6'4", the big fella. He's rattled off back-to-back scores, and with a really good chance of doing so against the Lions here for Monday Night Football. Detroit have given up the most yards to any wide receiver in the league to start through the first 3 weeks, so they're really struggling in that secondary. I think DK Metcalf, we know he's open to a big long shot down the field. It could be a 60, 50-yard bomb. I think he is going to have a monster night, but the odds makers a little chilly towards his chances of getting that anytime touchdown score. He plays as a captain tonight as well, so extra motivation, and we get an extra number.
And sitting at plus 175, I think points are definitely going to be big here Monday Night Football. A couple of injuries on defenses for both the Seahawks and the Lions. So we got 2 touchdowns in Seahawks-Lions. You're looking at a Tony Pollard touchdown for the Titans-Dolphins. Let's just see some points tonight. That's all I want.
I'm throwing all 3 in a little parlay there as well.
There we did hit it.
Check. Hit yesterday afternoon. Let's run it back. You can play that at the FD Sportsbook. You can also play the Sport of Kings underneath that racing tab. So let's get set for the third from Thistledown, showing 0 minutes to post time. Maiden claiming event for the 3-year-olds and up. They're already out there on the track. It's all about the 4 here at 6 to 5 as your favourite. But getting a good look here at the long shot of the field, the inside run of the 1 at 42 to 1. A slip of the area as the 3-year-old gelding just makes the 4th start here today. It's a maiden claiming event. Go on the 6 furlongs.
6 furlongs for the 3-year-olds and up. Everyone looking for that first win. The long shot of the board, the 1, 42 to 1. I guess you could say has a little bit of early speed, but has faded in the last couple outs. All right, the 4 as your favorite at 6 to 5. Vernon's Best comes in with 10 starts. 5 finishes in the money, has had a bit of success, has that early speed. What did you make of the 4?
And has won a race prior, won that last race, but placed second through disqualification. So that tells me at least for this runner, this 3-year-old, we know where the wire is. We know what we're showing up and trying to achieve. So Vernon's Best, take 2 at 6-5 will be the top choice for me. That course listed as muddy out there at Thistledown this afternoon. But let's take a look at a couple of the potential play against, if you will. The 7 at 2-1 for my boys. The 4-year-old gelding coming in for Jeffrey Radosevich and the stable. The barn sitting at a 22% clip for the meet, so certainly a name to put a bit of respect on. A bit of a course specialist, 7 for 8 in the money when racing here at Thistledown, and looked well headed out toward that starting gate. So that's the 7 at 9-5. Getting a good look here at the outside run of the 9 at 10-1. Equity Cat, the 3-year-old gelding, who really hasn't shown a bunch for the last couple of starts. Go a little further, never really shown a lot. Still yet to finish in the money through the first 11 career starts. This is a runner that's just been a little stuck at the level. Does not get easier today.
A couple other horses stuck at the level. Big prices on the board. The 5 at 37-1. We'll be making the third start here today. Hasn't finished in the money yet. Looking at the 2, 27-1. Skunk 8 morning line was 30-1. Never in the money in the 7 career starts. And the one who we highlighted sitting at 43-1. 3 lifetime starts, finishing far back in all of those.
Vernon's Best, the 4, the clear choice here for the public at 6-5. Let's see how it all plays out. We just await the outside runners and they'll be ready. It's race number 3 from Thistledown. Good luck.
Pair left alone now as Moonshine Joe goes in. And Equity Cat with jockey Louis Batista, the last in line. Locked up. And they're off. For my boys with a good beginning, Equity Cat has speed. Skunk Ape is sent and slip off the area. It's from the rail. Hidden Heart is in the early mix, and so is Moonshine Joe. Real battle for the front as they race down the backstretch to the 4.5. Hidden Heart for my boys. Moonshine Joe is out there. Furthest out is Equity Cat. Those 4 are up front. Slip off the area. It's moved off the pace now, but passed by both Vernon's Best and Colorful Lad. And then it's back to Skunk Ape, who's racing with Indy's Hope. They're about 9 or 10 lengths behind. They hit the far turn. Here's a move from Colorful Lad, who's going up the challenge for my boys. Hidden Heart is right behind the pair, racing in third as they hit the 5/16. And it's Colorful Lad on the outside to take the lead. For my boys is second. Hidden Heart is a long shot racing in third, but it is the leader here is Colorful Lad. For my boys will not go away. He's battling back on the inside. Hidden Heart is third. Vernon's Best will have to do it from fourth. Indy's Hope begins to gear up. He's fifth, but he's well behind Colorful Lad. 1 furlong to go. Colorful Lad in front. For my boys is second. And then it's Hidden Heart. Vernon's Best, a final 70 yards, and Colorful Lad has put away for my boys. And it's Colorful Lad. Colorful Lad is a winner. For my boys was second. Vernon's Best finished third, and Hidden Heart ran fourth.
6-7 for the 6 Colorful Lad gets the win, breaks the maiden in the 7th career start at Thistledown.
Fanned a couple wide as they turned for home. The 6 said, let's go and get this thing. Colorful Lad with a big performance and really hadn't flashed a lot of form or ability through the first couple prior here, but shows up with a monster. 6-7-4, unofficial order finish in race number 3 from Thistledown. So wait till those prices go official. For now, we turn it back to the gridiron, getting set for Monday Night Football. 2 games coming up. The Titans taking on the Dolphins in Miami. Miami 2.5-point favorites. In Seattle trying to keep that streak alive. Grabbing 4.5 going into Detroit on what looks shaping up to be a fast track. So time for a little last call, best call. Your favorite prop for the Monday Night MP. Any sport, any play, any game, where are you going?
We're going to the Seahawks-Lions game. We're going with the best receiver on the field, Amon-Ra St. Brown, to record 7 or more receptions. He is going to be going off tonight. Jared Goff is going to be getting him targets like crazy, and I do think this is going to be a high-scoring game. And when you look at Amon-Ra St. Brown, I like the matchup with him with Devin Witherspoon. Witherspoon's had success, not against Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's done really good against the Seahawks. The 2 starts he's had against Seattle Seattle Pryor. He's had 213 yards in total, 14 catches. So Amon-Ra St. Brown to have another big night in his third time facing the Seahawks.
I agree. He's one of my favourite wide receivers in the game right now, but I feel like there was a bit of peer pressure coming into the studio for that one. Curtis Callaway, Caleb Keller coming up next. Let's see if Detroit can bring it home for Monday Night Football. I'm going to go towards the other game. It's Mr. Mayonnaise himself, Will Levis, 16.5 rushing yards. My guy cannot help but turn that ball over. 5 interceptions. Just put that thing under your arm, get it downfield. It's going to be 2 runs, clears that mark. I think the Titans are absolutely live over there in South Beach. It's going to be a fantastic matchup at 16.5. Will Levis, he's trying to hold on to that starting spot.
He's trying to hold on. He's going to have to hold on to the ball if he wants that starting spot. Maybe parlay the Titans and the Lions, a bit of an upset. We're all over the public tonight.
I like it. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. That's going to do it for us. CK Squared coming up from HQ right after the break. And don't go anywhere. One of my favourite races of the day, just over 20 minutes away. Enjoy your Monday afternoon.